Hello, good morning and welcome to everyone. My name is Murli. I'm going to be the host for this workshop. So here, I just request your mic should be in mute position. That would help me really. So this workshop is purely for those who have some knowledge in Linux or some IT industry. So this is especially for explaining about the basics of DNS, how to configure a DNS, and what is the master server, then how slave to be configured and how the slave is working like that. Okay. So far to our knowledge, we know that only /etc/hostess and /etc/resolve.conf, right? So those are mostly related to the client configuration, client DNS configuration. But in /etc/resolve.conf, we used to have one parameter called name server, right? That is nothing but the DNS IP address. Okay. So here we have some agenda. Let me go through that quickly. I'm not going to spend much time in running the slides. Just a moment. Okay. Just give me a minute. Let me just. So this is the agenda. Almost I'll be taking maybe 50 minutes to 1 hour time. We'll see what is DNS, why DNS, and how it is working. DNS hierarchy, DNS root servers, and other things, right? Whatever that you could able to see. Okay. So these are all, each and every topic has its own meaning, right? For example, TLD stands for top level domain, SOA stands for the sort of authority, etc. Some of you have some knowledge in the resource records, right? For example, A address, PTR address, etc. Okay. We are also going to see some basic records only now, but how that's really working, that is. Okay. Those who are not speaking, please keep your mic in mute. Otherwise, maybe. I think someone logged in. Just give me a minute. Okay, hope that my audio is clear and you can able to see my presentation. First of all, what is DNS? So it is a mapping between a host name and the IP address. Okay. For example, if I'm using a host or a laptop in my home and wanted to connect to my internet, right? This is my laptop and I want to connect it, right? So there will be a service provider for me. For example, maybe Geo or maybe Airtel or someone will be there. I need to get connection from them, right? So he is actually called as ISP, and from there I'm getting the connection, and from there I can able to go to the internet. Okay. In my laptop or desktop, suppose when I type something like www.flipkart.com in the browser, right? In the browser, when I'm typing this one, will it work like this? Looks like it works, right? But actually what happened, first of all, this name has to be converted into an IP address. Okay. Whatever it may be, like maybe like 20.25.250.10, like that. Okay. The IP address. Okay. Because on the TCP IP packet, whichever that we want to travel, it will accept or it will carry only the IP address, not the host name. So that is the reason we need to convert in the host name into the IP address. That is what we need to understand first of all, why we need DNS. Okay. Suppose if that is not the case, then we can simply use the host name. Okay. Hope you can able to clear. My audio is clear, right, guys? So IP is very much required. Okay. If we don't have IP, then what will happen? Actually, it cannot able to carry out on the TCP packet. So that is what the problem we used to face. But in very old Unix systems, right, there is a file called /etc/hostess.txt, right? This file contains the entire information about the host name and its corresponding IP address. For example, I can say that www.example.com. Okay, this will have the IP address of, I can say that 10.10.10.1334, like that. And I can say sometime ftp.example.com. And this says that 1.2.34.56, like that. Okay, maybe some other host name like server a.example.com, right? Something. Okay. So here also maybe 12.23.34.56, like that. Okay. So what I'm trying to say, this is the host file that contains entire host information, as because it is very old and age, and we used to have only limited number of servers. Suppose in a data center, suppose if I have a data center, my own data center, and I'm having 20 or 30 or 50 servers, right? I can able to configure this etc hostess file. That's not a problem for me. I can able to do that. But just imagine that when you have thousands and thousands of servers, and every minute their server is adding, then we cannot able to manage these kind of files. It is very difficult for me. So that is the reason actually we are moving towards a service called DNS, stands for domain name service, a domain naming system. So the basic idea we need to understand is the name should be converted into IP address and vice versa. When do we need IP address to be converted into host name? Sometimes there may be requirement for the security reasons. Some people thinking that, okay, you are coming from the proper domain or not, they will check the reverse side. Okay, so that's where we used to have. But normally, yeah, host name will be converted into IP address. So this host name, conversion of host name into IP address, right? conversion of host name into IP address. This is actually called as forward lookup. Similarly, as you know that the reverse is IP address convert to the host name is actually called or referred to as reverse lookup. These are simply lookups. When you're going to a shop and you want to buy some things, right? So you will pay some money and you will get that. Similarly, here we want to have the IP address. We are providing the host name and we are getting the IP address, right? A simple logic. That's it. But we cannot able to manage in each and every server. That is the reason we are using the DNS as a centralized, or in other words, it is actually called as a decentralized. Why? I will tell you the reason. Okay. So distributed database implemented in hierarchy of the namespace. Why DNS is required? Because as I mentioned that we cannot able to remember the host name, sorry, the IP address. So that's what we need to have some system that need to map the IP address with the host name. Okay. How does it works actually? By transferring the data between the client and servers, right? It is actually working. That's what we are going to see how this is going to work. But what you want to keep it in your mind that just it's kind of a lookups, okay? Whenever the requirement from the application side that needs to be converted from the IP address, sorry, from the host name to the IP address, that some system should be doing that. That's it. But this is actually referred to as the backbone of an organization. For any of the domain or any of the system that you want to create right now, maybe it may be an OpenStack cloud, or it may be like an OpenShift, a kind of a DevOps, right? DNS plays a major role because it has to have, it needs to have entire information about the each and every component and its corresponding identity, means a host name or the relevant IP address. So DNS is actually speaking, it is not centralized, means some of the parts are centralized, some of the parts are not centralized, as because that should be going to the individual responsibility. For example, if I have oaclabs.com, oaclabs is my domain, .com is the parent, right? .com will be managed by a team called Ayana. So they will be managing that .com, but I will be responsible for the decentralized sector called OAC Labs. Similarly, google.com, gmail.com. So many stuffs are there, okay? And also, each and every individual person should be responsible for their domains. If oaslabs.com is failed, then I cannot be able to go and claim that, hey, that my domain is failed. Why? That is your responsibility, right? And also we can able to manage the traffic properly, right? So this is what I was talking about. Those who have some idea in the Linux, right, they know that the / is the root file system. Similarly here, the root is nothing but the top level is nothing but a dot. Dot is actually the parent for everything. In the Linux, / is a parent for everything, but in here in the DNS, dot is actually a parent for everything. You can see that com, org, edu. So these are all actually whatever that you could able to see here. Com, DNS, sorry, org and edu like that, right? These are all called as top level domains. Okay. Underlying Yahoo, Amazon, PBS, Poly, UMass, these are all actually the like these are all comes under the top level domains or TLD. So what I'm trying to say, suppose if you have a system like this, let me just open a new one. I can say I can do better, a small dot here like this. Okay, actually it's a dot. Okay, see here from there we can have so many branches like this. I can say com, I can say edu, I can say org, okay, gov, etc., mil, military. Okay. So these are all actually called as a top level domains. This is the root of everything. Beyond this, nothing is there. Exactly as like as the Linux file system hierarchy. Under this, for example, you can have so many lakhs and lakhs of domains may be there. For example, you can see that flipkart.com. You can see that yahoo.com. These are all common. So that's what it is, the com stands for. Gmail or google.com, right? So like that, ibm.com, like that, okay? So these are all actually, that should be managed by the individual organizations. Beyond this, that will be completely taken care by a committee, but under this, everything. So you can see that, for example, if you wanted to have a mail server should be configured, then it should be read something like this from the bottom. You can see that from the bottom, like this. How do I pronounce this one? How do I call this one? So mail.flipkart.com. Finally, a dot is also there. So this is the in normally in practice we will actually ignore the final dot, but that is required when you are doing the configuration part. Okay. So for each and every TLD, top level domains, you have n number of. Org stands for the non-profitable organization. That goes to non-profitable organization. Okay. I can say that linuxfoundation.org, it is a non-profitable organization. So that's what the org is given for, not for every cases. And for educational sectors, they will be giving edu like that, for universities and all. For government, for military purpose like that. Okay. For common purpose, you can use the .com. Or else you can also available in the country code like .in like that. Okay. So this is how we want to understand. Okay. One more thing, like whenever you want to actually, whenever you go there, suppose if you are just imagine that you are actually going to UK, right? And you don't know any places. Normally they will not allow you. You need to have some informations like where you are going to stay, etc. But just imagine that, assume that you don't have anything, right? Where do you go normally? You will go to your embassy, right? And saying that this is what I want to go, right? So similarly, when there is a query and the query needs some kind of a domain and it doesn't know where it go, then that's what these kind of 13 root servers are available, right? I told you dot, right? That's what it has, nearly 13 servers in all over the world. Here in Japan, we have UK, we have US, we have like that, okay? So that is responsible for actually taking you to the proper location, right? That's what we need to understand. If you're looking for www.lk.com, right? Then first it look for the com. Means before that com, we have a root server. From the root server, it will send you to the com. From the com, it will send you to LK. From the LK, it will send you to www, right? That is what our understanding should be. So top level domains, and authoritative servers are there. Authoritative means the server which is actually providing the information is the authoritative. For example, in case if you wanted to have some information about when the OpenShift course is going to start this month, right? So you can check with either Sheikh or you can check with Sarla Kalaivani, right? So like in YC Labs. You can also refer to the mobile number, or you can just go Google and you can check for that, right? Similarly, the authoritative information will be provided by the DNS. In the sense, yes, this information is valid. Why I am saying this one? Because some other informations are also there which are non-authoritative. That actually taking from some caching values, okay? So that is what we have to mention, that this is authoritative information. The information which is coming from OIC Labs is authoritative information, right? And you may not, sometimes you may be like a friend of student may be saying that a batch is going to start in, 20th of February, right? That may not be true, but if you want to check, you can check with the sales team of OIC Labs, right? So that is how the system is working. So the information about the records that we'll see, I'm not going to run more number of slides here. Some records are also there, like A record, NS, CNAME, MX is also there, okay? And please note that there is a string called TTL, stands for time to live. When the information is sending out from the DNS server, how long the information can be stored in the client location. That is what it is called as time to live. For example, if I am saying that maybe 3,600 seconds, right? Then at least I think 1 hour I have to wait for. Okay. So like that time to TTL can decide, suppose even when you defined the TTL already and you are doing some changes, that changes will be reflected after the TTL time. You got it what I'm saying? That is what our understanding should be. Okay, anyhow, these are the informations that I will show you when I'm actually coming to the demonstration stuff, okay? And before that, we also actually running the courses related at the OIC Labs. These are the normal courses that we are doing, okay? Linux, Python, Ansible, OpenShift, Kubernetes, AWS, Azure, and IoT related stuff, okay? IoT normally will be doing from the April onwards as current batch is going on. Linux, if you want to, those who have already completed, I can able to see most of the phases who have completed Linux at OIC Lab. So if you want to upgrade yourself, you please reach out as, okay? So we have some offer. And those who wanted to take trainings, for example, maybe your friends or friends' sons or your neighbor or maybe other family members, right? Those who wanted to take Linux or they wanted to go into the IT industry, please refer to us, okay? As because we are actually taking our own time, maybe 1 month time for complete learning of Linux with mini projects, and also with a small portion of Python also will be taught when you are then they're doing Linux, okay? And also we have a few openings and we have some tie-ups with the organizations, companies, and we need, as of now, you know that we need almost 15 to 20 members right now, okay? And even different locations, Bangalore also we are also required some Mysore. And so only thing is you just want to have the skill set, okay? Those who are actually like sometimes you may be taking the Linux courses in other than OIC Labs outside, right? You please reach us, okay? We'll see what is your strength and we'll try to manage your skill set, and if required, you can also take a short kind of brush-ups kind of things, okay? I'm also very much happy to inform you that we are also having free training of Linux for the people who are really suffering financially. I'm saying that really suffering financially. Okay. So this is not for providing kind of any advertisement or something, but if you find your friends or some neighbors or really they are suffering, and probably some of the persons, they are very good in knowledge, I mean the education, but they may not have the proper support at the home. Maybe like they may not have their father not available, right? So they may be coming from the poor background and they are also not in Chennai, maybe some different parts of the south side or even other locations, right? Please refer to us, okay? So what we'll do, we'll actually giving them training properly. Also, we'll provide some opportunities for them to do jobs in different locations, okay? So I'm not only helping, you also try to help us, but only thing is the people who are really suffering, they can take this opportunity, okay? Some of the peoples also who are working and saying that I'm I need this, but we may not be able to provide, as you know that we are also facing a lot of problems, right? We need to manage each and every aspects, right? So that's the reason we cannot be able to provide for everyone, but only for the financially challenged persons that we can provide. Okay, for any of your new courses or for your update courses or anything, please reach our sales team. How to reach? Please take a snapshot of this one and kindly help us, because we are here till this time because only from your support, nothing else. Okay, even after COVID also, you know that so many problems are faced, but we are here only as purely from your support, nothing else. Okay, you are referring so many people, that's the reason we are here. Otherwise, by the time we may not be here, definitely. Thanks for all your supports, and I just wanted you taking your further more supports on this. Okay. I don't want to have any questions immediately, but I just let us go for the demonstration so that I don't want to waste the time. Okay. Let me just open up this one. So here what I'm doing, I'm just going to configure this server A as my master server. And once it is done, I'll be checking. After that, I'll be configuring server B as my slave server. Let us do that. So first of all, I just want to actually check my host name. Host name is actually speaking, it is server a.lab.example.com. I don't want to have this name as I just want to. I'm going to create the domain in the name of voicelabs.com. Okay. This is my configuration that I'm going to do right now. So what I'm doing to do, host name, ctl, set host name, the same command that you might have studied, server a.voiclabs.com. Host name, ctl. Okay, can see that, yes, it is done. Let me also check the host name. Yes, it is done. And also I need to, those who are not speaking, please keep it mute. That would really help me. Okay. Yeah. So let me check the IP address of this machine. 172.25.250.10, right? Fully qualified domain name followed by the host name, short. 72 dot. Okay. First, we need to configure the host name properly. Okay. Next thing is I just want to configure my network card also. Just give me a quick minute. Let me check my. So give me a minute. Let me check my server version. Yeah, got it. That I was checking in the other server. This is okay. I have configured. Let's see. Let me check the host name. Server a.oislabs.com, correct? Okay. Then let me check the etc config network -scripts. Okay, now you can see that the DNS name I have changed because this machine is going to be my DNS server. Okay, that's what I have changed this name as DNS1. Okay, and the domain name, right? The entry, I don't want to have the entry like this. That's it. Once I done, right, systemctl restart network manager, you can see that add ttc resolve.conf, right? You can see that this search pattern is voice lamps and this is going to be okay. So that is the reason I have modified in my configuration. Okay. So what I did, host name and host name setup, and after that etc host file, and after that this particular IFCFG configuration. Okay. Now you need to actually install the bind star. All these are actually already installed. Okay, already installed. So that's the reason. In case if you don't have, if you're not installed, you need to install these packages. Okay, most of these are bind. So bind stands for Berkeley Internet Naming Domain. Okay, so that's initiated by the Berkeley University. That's what the name stands for. Okay, and when you install, right, what will happen? You can able to see that named.conf a configuration file for the DNS will be available here. Okay, so this is the standard configuration. So please note that as per my information, server A is going to configure as a master. First, we will do the master part. Then we'll go for the slave part. Okay. Right. Now, see that I'm configuring the master server right now. So 172, because the IP address you have to configure. Listen on port, right? So as of now, you can see that it's a local loopback. I mean, locally, only for that machine. But anyone wanted to reach your machine, right? Then you have to configure that specific IP address of the machine, right? So 172.25.250.10 is the IP address of your machine. I mean, the same machine, right? Whichever machine I'm working. And next is allow query. Who are actually querying about this one, right? Then they have to actually query this particular network I can give, right? From anyone who is from this network, they can able to query me. That's what I have, because that gives you the perimeter. Okay, what is your circle and what is your like kind of the boundary kind of things. And other than this, you can see most of you know that the port number 53 is for the DNS, right? This is for IPv4 version. This is for IPv6 version. We are not configuring IPv6. Directory means the resource records will be available in this location called var named. Dump file, statistics file, memory statistics file, everything is available here. Okay. Right. Let me come to the next part here. Some kind of a DNS security also there here. Like when you want to actually send a query, right? The query has to hit the DNS and it has to come back, right? So during that, there should not be any hacking, cracking like that. That's the reason that should be properly encrypted and sent out. So that is what that kind of a transport layer security will be available. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, you can see, as I told that this dot is actually the root server, correct? I told you, right? Here also I told you, right? That is gone. It's actually nothing but named.ca. Let me show you what is name.ca, right? Var named. Here you can see name.ca, right? So what is the name.ca content? These are that almost 13 kind of root servers. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So these 13 servers are located around the world. That's what I shown you, right? 4, 5 is available in US and 2, 3, 4 available in UK and Japan, etc. Right? These are permanent. This has the entire information about all the top level domains. Okay. And for each and every root server, it has a record also. You can see 192.41. These are the fixed. Okay. No one will change this one. This is what actually. Right. A record stands for this particular host name, sorry, or like the name of the domain is available in this IP address like that. Okay. So this is nothing but the TTL stands for the time to live, and IN stands for internet, A stands for address like that. Okay. let me come to this part. etc named.conf. Here I'm just going to configure my domain here. What I'm going to configure. One second. Okay. Zone. oaslabs.com. IN. Open the curly braces. Type is master. Semicolon. That should be end with semicolon. File. What is a file actually? The master's resource records are available in this file. Forward.oaslabs. Any name you can give. Not a problem. Only thing is you should have the file name inside. Where do we want to have? Inside the directory that we mentioned, var named, right? And allow -update. As of now, nothing is there. Okay. Then I'm closing this. Right. Allow update. I shall use this. Curly braces. Second thing, this is for the forward lookup. It has a resource records here. Similarly, I'm going to do that for the reverse lookup. Okay. So normally, what is the IP address of our machine? Like, you know that the domain name is oaslabs.com. What is the IP address here? IP address is going to be 172.25.250. This parameter is X, right? Because it's a class C type of. So I'm going to use a class C type. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to configure this exactly reverse, right? So what I'm doing, 250.25.172, exactly reverse. .in -addr address.arpa. Address resolution protocol. Okay. IN that opening curly braces master file reverse.oslabs. Any name you can give, not a problem. Okay. So allow -update none. Closing this one. Okay, so this is for the forward lookup. We need to have the file called forward.oaslabs. And for the reverse lookup, we need to have the file called reverse.oaslabs. That's it. It is configured as a master server. Okay. Right. That's it in this particular configuration file. I'm going to save this one. Okay. Now let me go to the var named. I mean var named only. You can see that var named. Okay. So in the var name, you remember what are the what we need to do actually? We need to have the forward and reverse lookups. Okay. So forward, they have given a template. Okay. Named dot local host forward.oaslabs. You should be careful while giving the name of the file, because this name exactly that we have given in name.conf, right? That should not be different. Otherwise, it will not work. Okay. So forward.oaslabs, I'm coming here. This is the name. Okay. Similarly, reverse is also there. Let us do one by one. As I mentioned, TTL stands for the time to live 1 day. 1 day means what? This complete 24 hours. Okay. So whatever that, whatever the information provided by this server, by this DNS to the client, right? Client machine, that is valid for next 24 hours. Okay. That is what our understanding should be. But you may be thinking that, okay, suppose if I'm changing after 5 hours, what will happen? That will take effect after 24 hours only. Okay, that is what the TTL stands for. And one more thing here, this symbol, right, at symbol always represents the domain name. Okay, so in domain name, what is the domain name here? OEC Labs. In internet, it is actually the start of authority. It is an authorized info. It says that whatever the information we are providing, this is authorized. That's what it meant for SOA, start of authority. And after that, you can see the domain name under the information here. So what I'm going to do here, I can make it as the host name, because that is what actually we are configuring. Server a.oeclabs.com. Please remember, while you are configuring, you need to have the dot, final dot. And also, actually speaking, our name dot invalid, right? Something like this is the mail address. Suppose if the DNS is having some problem, right, then whom shall it can reach? I can say that root at oeclabs.com, right? That is what we need to do normally. But here at is having a different meaning at the rate, right? So that is what we have to use dot. At means what? It's a domain name here in DNS. So that is what I'm saying, that root.oeclabs.com. Finally, a dot, trailing dot is very much required. These are all I will tell you later. After that, you have to configure the name service, name server. I can say that domain name, which is nothing but oeclabs.com. Even if you are not mentioned IN, that will be taken from the previous value by default. In internet, I am not mentioning the TTL. TTL will be considered automatically here. Okay. So here I have to mention the name, the host name, whichever the host I configured the DNS. Server.oec, server a.oeclabs.com, right? Trailing that dot is very much required. And after that, I also have to mention this oeclabs.com in internet. It has a record of, what is a record? A record means address 172.25.250.10. This is for IPv4. I don't want to mention this one. Okay. Simple. I have to mention the name server. Right hand side of the name server, always it should be the host name. I mean, whichever the server that you configure, the fully qualified domain name. And A, always right hand side to the A is always should be the IP address. Left hand side is a domain name. Okay, this and all I will come to that later. I'm going to save this file. Let me copy the named dot loopback. reverse.oeclabs.com. Sorry, oeclabs. Same thing I'm going to do. So this start of authority, something like this particular machine, right? Which machine? This server a.oeclabs.com dot under the mail ID should always, not always, you can keep it your admin account like root.oeclabs.com, right? Trailing dot. So here you can see the domain name, which is oeclabs.com. In the internet, it has the name server of, what is the name server here? Server a.lab.exam. I'm sorry, oeclabs.com. Dot is very much required, guys. Okay. Also, you can see that here at the rate means it's oeclabs.com. In internet, it has a record of 172.25.250.10. Okay. So this I don't want. PTR means PTR means actually the pointer. The pointer is very much required in case of the reverse lookup, right? As I told that what is meant by forward and reverse lookup? Forward is something like host name to IP. Host to IP is a forward lookup. IP to host is referred to as reverse lookup, right? So I'm mentioning here 10. You can see that 10 pointer marking to the host called server A dot lab, sorry, oaclabs.com dot. It should be end with trailing dot. See here, I have mentioned only the 10. What about the remaining stuffs? That is available in my name.conf. Is that right? Remember that we have mentioned 250.25.172 in the reverse, right? Or otherwise, it should be called as 172.25.250 there and 10 here. And it has a pointer. Pointer always has to need to have the right hand side of the host name. A always need to have the right hand side of the IP address. That is what you need to understand. Right? Only the reverse lookup will have the pointer. But for the forward lookup, it will have only the A record, NS record, and other records. Okay. Pointer will not be available in forward lookups in general. Okay, I'm going to save this one. Okay. Now, forward lookup, reverse lookup is configured. Now, how do I test this one? I need to configure my resolve.conf. As you know that this is the DNS client configuration file. Whenever there is a requirement, it should hit here. Okay. So I'm going to just comment this one. Okay, let us see what happened. You can either use dig or host command. Host oaclabs.com. See here, nothing will be there because there is it is resolve.conf doesn't have anything. It had two lines. That 2 lines is now commented. It does not know what to do. Okay. So what I'm doing, I'm just opening this one and trying to uncomment and trying to make it active. Now I'm trying to come up with post something. It is not working as because some problem. We just wanted to check that nothing is nothing. I think I need to start the systemctl start, or I need to enable it properly named. Okay. Systemctl start named. Okay. It has some problem, I think so. Let us see that what is the problem. Loaded serial number 0 failing with server A dot oslabs.com has no A record. That's what it says. Okay, let us do that. Server A in A 172, same address. Okay, 172.25.250.10. That's it. I'm going to start it once again. What is the problem? Let us see that. You can see some other problem, right? Loading configuration, permission denied. See here, clearly it mentioned permission denied. Okay, let us see that what is the problem. Those who are not speaking, please keep your in mute. Otherwise, it is difficult for us. Okay, ch on grp named forward reverse. Please keep it, guys. Speaking. Yeah, thanks, Imran. Okay, so it clearly says that what is the problem. That is what we need to understand in the real time. Okay, it is not like in a single command you can get everything. You need to actually go one by one. Okay, so what is the problem that you might have missed something, right? Now it says that again, some problem, some permission is, okay, let me check that what is the problem. TC name.conf. Okay. Now it's okay, right? So I have given the permission, then that's it. Systemctl status named. Now you can see that it is in enable, which means that next time when I start the server, like the server rebooted, then it will be in active state. So you can see that everything is working fine right now. Okay. It is not only that the service is working, we should actually get the result. That's what we are expecting. So how do we check that? You can go to the etc resolve.conf and check whether it is configured. Yes. Right. Host osclabs.com. Let me check that. Yes. You can see that it has the IP address. What I was asking for osclabs.com. It is giving me, yes, it has an IP address. There is one more tool called dig, osclabs.com. Yes. See that I have a query. See here, one query, one answer for that. One authority answer, two additional answers. What is my query? osclabs.com. What is the answer? osclabs.com is available in this, having the IP address of this one. This is authority information. Like this guy is actually providing the authority information. And these are the additional informations. Okay, this is what we need to understand. NS lookup is also there. Sorry. NS lookup is also there where you can able to see osclabs.com. Yes, it has. It will provide. So any tool which is actually relevant to the DNS, right, that will give you the proper result for that. Right. So I am pointing to etc resolve.conf where my name server is my server 172.25.250.10, and the pattern is also like that. Let me just check that host space server A. Yes, you can see that server a.osclabs.com has an IP address of something like this. See here, etc resolve.conf. Let's check that whether this is working. Nowadays it is working. Now you can see that it is not working, right? Host server A means what? It is not working. Does it? Earlier it was working, but now it is not working. It says that no server could be reached. Why? Because if I'm not providing server a.osclabs.com, actually that particular parameter should be passed by this searching pattern. Got it? When I give server A alone, then this will be actually attached to that query. So server a.osclabs.com like that. That is a specialty of the search pattern. Now you can see that server A, yes. Can I give like server B? Will it work or not? No, because we don't have any information over there. We have not configured. So what I want to do, I want to configure it properly. See here, etc, sorry, var named. I'm going to include one particular parameter here. That's it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to server B in internet having a address of 172.25.250.11. That's it. One IP address. Please note that DNS will not check the availability of the machine, whether machine is available or not. Least bother about that. Just an information that it is providing from the data. Host server B. Will it work? No, it will not work. Why? You have to restart, so then only it will understand. Let me do that. Systemctl restart named. Okay. Now after that, you can see yes, it is working. Correct. So that is what master is working. Fine. In case if master goes down, right? In case suppose if systemctl stop named due to some reason, just imagine that this is down. Okay. So can I get the result? No. Because the name server is not working, the service is not working, then how come it will work? So that is what, there is a necessity for us to have the slave server. Slave is not a client, okay? Please understand that slave is not a client. Now what I'm doing, I'm just going to configure the slave server. So whatever the information or the resource records, that will be automatically updated from the master server. Got it, guys? Let us see that. So I'm not going to stop it immediately. Let me just start it. I will do that once there is a requirement. Okay. As of now, it is working, correct? Yes. So let it be. I'm going to I'm going to have the other server called server B. So let me install bind here as well. Yes, it is also there. Right. Let me go to /etc named.conf. Before going to server B, your server A, that is a master server, should also has some updates, some information related to the slave. Okay. Means that we need to have the information says that, yes, we are going to have a slave server. For that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to include one parameter here, which is called as allow transfer. Localhost. So 172.25.250.11. So we are going to allow this particular host to transfer the files. Got it what I'm saying? So we are doing in the master and saying that we are allowing, we need to allow that server to transfer. Whatever the data we have, right? We are not going to create separate resource records in the server B, I mean the slave server. No, we are going to use the same master information that will be automatically transferred to the slave server. That is what it is called as a slave. Okay, we are going to have manage the name.conf. That's it. Let me come to this part. Okay, that's it, I think. Here we don't have any other updates. Yes. I think here we don't have any other updates. Okay. Let me go to server B. In the server B, see here in the server B, I'm going to check only the configuration part, not the resource record parts. Okay. So now I'm going to do the same stuff, whatever that we have done as like as the previous case, 172.25.250.11, because this is my DNS server, right? I'm going to listen on this port and allowing query. Querying means 172.25.250.0/24. So this entire network that I'm going to allow, that's it. That is the meaning for that. Okay, please note that I'm working on the slave server, not in the master server. So I need to create some informations here, like zone informations. Just a moment, let me take some water. See here in the file section, I'm not going to mention directly the name of the file, but I'm mentioning that inside the slaves, right? There is a folder. I will show you the folder also. Okay. Inside that folder, I need to have, see here, and just save this file and where named. Inside that, you can see there is a folder called slaves. Is that right? Yes. Yes. See here, as of now, we don't have anything. In server B, we don't have anything. So that is what I'm configuring here now. So slaves, you can give any name here. Forward hyphen forward.voicelabs. Okay. Masters 172.25.250.50.10. Zone. So 250.25.172 dot in hyphen addr dot alpha. In, okay. Type is slave. Please note that I'm not mentioning as a master, I'm mentioning as a slave. Slaves inside that reverse labs. Whatever the name that you are typing here, the same file will be available inside your slaves once properly transfer happened. Okay, that is what we need to understand. Masters, sorry. Masters 172.25.250.50.10. Master information that we are providing. That's it. That's it. Okay, let us check that. Okay, if there is any problem, it will come automatic. That's it. I'm not going to do anything other than these settings. Okay. Fine. So please note that I have done some changes in etc name.conf alone in server B, not anything else. In here also in this location, right? I mean in the master, what I did actually I have included one particular section called allow transfer. Then after that, I have not done anything else other than this. Right? That's it. I'm going to save this file. That's it. Systemctl. Okay. Restart named. Okay, because I have done some changes in the master. I'm doing that. Okay. Please note that here we don't have anything, right? Nothing is there as of now. In this location, nothing is there. Let me just make it server B alone. I mean also this also. So here I'm going to show you inside warlog tail -f messages. Okay. So we are going to see if there is any changes in server B that we can able to see here. Also you can see, let me make it a server A. Okay. Okay, you can see that. Yes. So this is for server B, and this, let me make it here like this is for server A and this is for server B. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I have restarted this particular named here, but when I have not done any, I have not started my named in server B. I mean the slave server. Okay. Systemctl enable named. Okay. Fine. Please note that I have not done anything related to reserves records in server B. Only I just made some changes in etc name.conf. That's it. Systemctl start named. Okay. So here also I have opened the logs. Here also I have opened some logs. Okay. Now let me start this one. You can see that there is AX for started. Okay. the transfer is started here in server A. But in server B, you can see that entire information it could able to provide. You can see that. So Berkeley started. You can see that loaded serial number 0. I will tell you the importance of serial number after this one. Okay. Now, this is also loaded. This is loaded, and come down. Okay. Mind is maintained. Okay, that's okay. We come down. Here you can see the transfer of voicelabs.com.in from here to here, right? Connected using this one. Right? And also after this, you can see the transfer of this reverse lookup is also done. Okay. Once you could able to see that transfer message, then we should understand that okay, the master is transferred the files to the slave properly. See here, this is the location. Earlier I don't have anything, but I have this file information, right? You cannot able to see that as it looks like it is not a normal file, looks like ASCII text data, correct? See here, you cannot able to read. Earlier it was in a readable state, but now they have changed. Okay. So what does it mean? Okay. See here, etc. See here, etc. Result.conf, right? I'm just going to make this voicelabs.com. Please note that I'm pointing the slave server. Okay, I'm pointing the slave server. This is a domain name. This is a slave server. I'm not mentioning the master server. Okay, let me save this one. Now host voicelabs.com. Now who is providing me? My server, my slave server, which is 172.25.250.11 is providing me the information. Host server A, who is providing me? My server is providing. See here, I'm just server C is a common server. Okay, etc. Sol.conf. Okay, now search pattern. Here I can simply use this one because those are all domains. Okay, the one is a master, another one is a slave, but this guy is common. Okay, voicelabs.com. Okay, 172.25.250 dot, right? I can say that 11 is my slave server. Okay, so what I'm saying, host voicelabs.com. Yes, I can able to get that, right? In case if I has the previous information like 172.250.254, this is my name server. This is not related to voicelabs. This is related to example.com. Then I should not get this information, right? So that is what we need to understand. This is my master server. I have mentioned this as a master server. You can see that I'm mentioning this as a master server. Yes, it is working. Now I'm marking this as my, okay. Now you can see that yes, it is working. So normally how it should be, right, guys? It should be something like you can have 6 different entries in etc name.conf. See here. Right. First, it will hit the master server. In case master is failed, then it will come to this guy. Okay. Host server A. Yes, it is working. But please note that in case if master is not working, the sense what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually stop the service. See here, when I stop the service, but still my first name server is master server only. In that case, you can see that a slight delay in the getting that, right? So that delay as because the master server is down. I'm not sure whether you can able to see that or not, but that is there. You can see that voicelabs.com. Yes, a slight delay is there. You can see that. Yes. For example, time post voicelabs.com. You can see that a time delay is there, right? See here, almost three minutes is there. But when I'm changing this one, something like this, right? Now you can see without any delay time, correct? So that is what we need to understand. Okay, now a transfer is happened. Okay, suppose if I wanted to add some other data, okay, in my forward lookup, because I'm doing in my master server. Please note that in the slave server, we don't have any rights to touch the resource records because that is completely encrypted one. Now, if I wanted to have some other information, for example, www, okay, so in a record, I can say something, right? So 172.25.250.20, right? This records, yes. FTP. That means what? www. Right? voicelabs.com. ftp.voicelabs.com. That is the meaning for that. Okay. 172.25.250. I can say 21. Right. So now I have included these two records in forward. Right. In reverse also, I'm going to do the same thing. What I'm going to do, 20. Because all others are, you know that, right? It is available there. So it is something like server x.voicelabs.com. This is actually speaking, this is the web server. And next one is actually the FTP server. Okay, that is what we are pointing to. Server y.voicelabs.com. Okay, right. Right. Now this is done. What we want to do, actually speaking, we wanted to start the information, right? I mean, we need to first of all restart the service because the resource records has changed. Okay, what we want to do for that? Please note that whenever you are doing either in a forward or reverse lookup, right, the serial number should be changed. Otherwise, there will not be any impact on the records. Got it? That is what you could able to see that the serial 0 is loaded, right? When you change that, then it will compare with the existing serial number and saying that, oh, there is a change, then we need to update it, right? Right? That is what we need to understand. So now you can see, let me make it as 1. Okay. Now, when I do this, not only in the forward, but also in the reverse, right? See here, let me come to that. One or two or whatever, but if it is a sequence, then we'll have good information, right? And we can able to manage that proper, right? So I have actually changed the serial also. After that, what I'm going to do, please note that again, we are going to see this, what happened here in server A and also in server B. Okay. So now our record, which is nothing but what is the serial number 1, that should be loaded. Okay. And I'm going to restart this one, the systemctl restart name. Okay. Because restarting is required, then only it will work, right? I'm going to do that. Yes, done. I'm not going to do anything in my slave server. That's it. You can see that some information is available. Let us see that. See, serial number loaded, serial number 1, which means that yes, okay. Obviously, it says that yes, the new information is available. This is server B and this is server A. Server A clearly may like mention that yes, it is done. Let us see that any transfer is happened over there. Solver. Okay. Okay, let us see that. Okay, serial number is loaded. Anyhow, we'll see that. So how to check that? See in server B. Okay, okay, now we can see what is my result.conf. Okay, first let me check with the master alone. Okay, we should not get confused. Okay, first let us see master. So host, what actually we want? www, right? Yes, we have that. Can you able to get that from the slave server? It is not happen, right? So what I will do is, let me just restart my slave server. Those who are not speaking, please keep it in mute. That would help really others. Let us see that the transfer is happened or not. Let us see that. I think this is done. I think yes. Let's see that. Can see that transfers. Loaded serial number. Loaded serial. Loaded serial 4. Serial 4. Loaded serial 0 only. What is that? Let me check that. Server B. Okay, server B. Let me check that. One second, let me check that. Any problem here? Let me check that. And also, and here also I'm doing, I should get the result. Just a moment. It's also there. Okay. Client only, but anyhow, I'm doing it once again. Let me check. Firewall D is off only. Yes. It's working, right? It is working. Just checking. Forward. Anything missed over here? I'm just checking. Okay, I did a small mistake here because I need to mention, right? I have not mentioned the name server. That is the only problem. I will be mentioning that. Okay. See here, guys. So these are all actually kind of a problems that we need to understand because I have not mentioned the name server. I have one more name server. That's the reason. Okay. Server B dot voice. That's it. Okay, that's it. The problem. Let me do that once again. Systemctl restart name. Okay, let us see that. So by the time, let us also do that with Okay, and this guy also will do that. Serial number is properly loaded, and that's the reason why it is not. Let's see that. See here, XF transfer is started. So now also here you can see transfer of this one, right? That's it. So now it should work. Okay, I can see that, as I have not mentioned the stuff, right? See here, this is a client. Okay, in case master downs, automatically the client should have the information. Now at this point of time, master and slave both are having this information. They should be working now. Okay, in case, as I told, suppose if the master downs, right, then system CTL, then stop named, right, then at that point of time, then automatically it will give a delay time, then after that it will work. Okay, so that is how we can have to the maximum of 6 name servers in an organization. Okay, so even any other data that you want to populate, right, that can be done, but after that you just wanted to, that data will be transferred automatically after restarting that one. Okay, it is not like that. It is not even required to restart the slave servers, because only the master's restart is enough in case of, because you are doing some changes, right? Fine. See here, suppose if I wanted to do a small change once again, right? For example, you can see host FTP, you know that, right? This we have. Fine. Now let me put host, right? Web. You don't have any result for this because even master and slave doesn't have. So I'm going to configure right now. But please note that I'm not going to do any changes or anything in the slave side. Only the master side I'm going to do that. Right? Once you configure slave, that's it. Slave will be acting as that, getting information automatically updated by the master, and it will keep on work. So that is how the root server will always kept in the origin, maybe like US or some data center. After that, you can have slave servers in different locations. Okay, you can see this still is not giving some answers for me. Okay, anyhow, so forward, I'm going to give some web in a, right, 172.25.250.50. See, okay, reverse 50 PTR server 50.oslabs.com. That's it. Okay, see here, as of now I don't have anything. Security is still having problem. Okay, dcresolve.conf. Yes, we have master and the slave, and system CTL restart. Named. That's it. I have not marked the zone, right? Sorry, serial number, right? I have to do that. What is the serial number now? I have to, because there is a change happened, right? So I have to mark the serial number without any. We have to do it properly, okay? Because DNS is not like that every day we are doing. Only few people will be working on DNS, okay? So that right, this is done. After that, you can restart this one. Then you can see that, yeah, transfer is started. After that, you can also see the transfer of files. Okay, then you can see that host web, right, that is providing. Okay, I have not done any restart also in server B, right? This is done previously, not now. Only I have done changes in the master server, right? I think I have taken more time, guys. I'm really sorry for that. So I could able to give you some proper information, I think so. Give me some feedback in case if you want. And also I'm trying to do that in for the mail servers and other servers, those who are actually looking for. Okay. And again, I'm saying that those who are interested to join with the Linux or other batches, please reach out to these particular numbers. Please take a screenshot and we will do that. We are also providing some mini projects like kind of, even sometimes we are also having some kernel compiling and other things only when you are taking courses from us, because that is what we can able to manage, right? No, obviously, okay. And please help us to bring some other people who are financially challenged, or we are also providing some education, free education in terms of Linux, and we are also placing them, okay. You can also take the benefit of that, okay, right. Nothing else other than this. Please support me, and your feedback will be very much helpful for us, and your inquiries and other kind of registration really help us. And one more thing I just wanted to inform you, I'm really sorry for that. Sales team is actually killing me if I'm not doing that, right. Suppose in case if you are taking today, if you are registering any Linux courses, or any of your friends or anyone who is registering Linux or any other courses today, right, especially today, you are taking 10% off from the training cost, okay. Other than that, if you are existing, I mean, you are alumni of OEC Labs, then you can also take other benefits like for taking up the upgrading of the exams from REL 8 to REL 9. You guys know that REL 9 is available, right? So you can also take benefit out of that, and any other queries or any other kind of messages that you want to pass, you can pass it me at any time, okay. Thank you. Thanks once again. I'm winding off.